Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Raw Reverent call. I decided to record this one today so that people could watch the replay if they wish. And the intention for this call today is trusting the intelligence of the heart to release the habit of living for the expectations of others and to deepen our relationship with our own inner guidance, that quiet, mystical compass within our own hearts. And so there will be an opportunity for journaling later on in the call. So have your journal ready and just find a quiet and comfortable space for sitting. We'll drop into a meditation and just talk about some different concepts related to following that inner compass in our hearts. So we will start by just grounding into the space and dropping in and maybe closing our eyes and feeling the space that we're in, feeling the air touching our skin, feeling our feet on the ground, feeling the breath entering and exiting, and taking a moment to acknowledge the ways that we've been conditioned to spend our time efforting to be good enough or liked and accepted, productive enough, and operating from a space of lack in our relationship with time, and really taking the opportunity today to create a little sanctuary from all of that noise and conditioning, and dropping into a practice of something that is quite radical in the world today, but is simple. And that is the art of listening to ourselves. And so we'll start with a simple grounding breath. In prolonged or held exhales is where we can find quiet and stillness in the body. So for the breath today, we will inhale through the nose for 4 and exhale through the mouth for 6. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, a little hold, and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And continuing this breath. Softening the jaw, dropping the shoulders, softening the belly, softening the brow, gently relaxing the body, settling into this present moment. A couple more breaths. And when you're ready, allowing your eyes to gently open and take in the space that you're in through the visual field, really connecting to the senses, connecting to the beautiful faculties of these bodies. We connected to the sensation of touch, feeling the air on our skin, feeling the breath entering our body, feeling our feet touching the earth. connecting to the sensation, the sense of sight, taking in all the beautiful patterns and colors around us, the hearing, the sense of sound and hearing, taste and smell. Just taking a moment for gratitude for our beautiful bodies, our beautiful vessels that are built for us to interact with this world, this beautiful world. Okay, and so the topic for our conversation today being following the compass, the guidance, the mystical path of bowing to the intelligence of the heart, the private journey that is, ineffable, indescribable journey that is, and just recognizing that most of us were trained from childhood to ask, what do they want from me? And how can I avoid disappointing someone? And what is the right way to live? And being demonstrated and shown and told what direction to walk. And having our childlike wonder not necessarily nurtured, but boxed, and now really arriving to a place in our lives and a place within ourselves where we recognize that there's a question that we need to ask, which is, what is true for me? And that can be a really big question, especially if we've lived for a long time, orienting to the projections of truth from the external world around us. And sometimes the information and guidance from the heart of what is true for us ask us to make some shifts and changes in our lives, and it can feel really big and really dramatic and really overwhelming. But just to come back to the present moment, come back to the sensations of the present moment, the senses, and recognize that the largest changes happen in the subtlest of moments, in the subtlest of shifts, in the shifts in the way that we interact with the day-to-day tasks like washing the dishes, and the way that we interact with life around us, caring for the plants and the animals, the way that we interact with our leftover food and the opportunity to compost and turn it into rich soil, the way that we interact with the daily gift of the living of life. That is really where it happens. And that is where we make that subtle but gentle and eventually profound shift in the direction of what is true for us. And so I wanted to weave in this quote by one of my favorite teachers, Alan Watts, which is, a person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. This is how constantly scanning for approval keeps us trapped in a mental story about who we should be. And it is so rich and beautiful and delicious, not only for ourselves, but also for the world around us, when we begin to allow our unique signature and our unique flavor, our unique fragrant scent to be offered to this world, rather than masking it with trends and artificial perfumes, metaphorically speaking. We offer our unique scent to this world, and perhaps some perceive it as unfavorable or musky, and that's quite all right because it is about our journey and our relationship with our heart and the guidance of our inner compass. And that is the path to freedom and liberation for all, to respect our own inner compass and to respect the guidance of everyone else's inner compass as well. And so we really have sort of two selves that are operating when we're moving through this world. We have a social self, the part of us that is shaped by family and culture and conditioning. And we have a deeper self that is our quiet inner knowing. And the more that we orient toward the quiet inner knowing of our hearts, and the more that we are reverent to its guidance and direction, the stronger the relationship becomes. And it builds into a positive feedback loop of self-nourishment and self-assuredness and deep self-love and self-respect. And then we make choices out of self-respect as a result, which builds that self-trust. And it allows us to step into a space of deep and abundant gratitude and overflow of love just pouring out of the heart, our cup overflowing. And many around us can drink from the excess, the abundant excess of love flowing from within our own self-nourished hearts. Thich Nhat Hanh often said, listen with the ear of your heart. The heart has its own intelligence. And if you think about it in terms of the mind is where we apply logic, it's where we look out in the world and we see different opportunities or different things that are unfolding, and we apply deductive reasoning and logic to connect to what feels the most true for us and based on the data that we collect in our lives. And then the gut is where we experience the immediate yes, no response and intuition. And the healing of the physical boundaries and the physical lining of the gut is a big part of this journey, and certainly was a big part of this journey for me. I very, very distinctly remember when my gut started to come online, and whenever I finally um, was aware that this is the guidance of my intuition and my gut is speaking to me, and my felt sense of which direction to walk beyond logical information is growing stronger and stronger as I heal my gut and the tight junctions of the gut, because at the physical level, the gut is our expression of yes and no. The gut is interacting with this world and coming in contact with things that we need and coming in contact with things that we don't need. And its job is just to say yes, no, yes, no. And whenever that physical function is compromised And then we begin to be colonized by other pathogens and fungi and bacteria, and then they send signals to our brain, and we become confused about which direction to go and which choices to make. It is really a reflection of our journey again to returning to the compass, the guidance of the heart, and following that guidance. And so when you have the beautiful, logical, deductive reasoning skills, the space in the mind that is able to understand the thread of time from past to present to future and project itself into different times and everything that comes with that, both regret and longing and worry and fear and dreaming and excitement. Then you have the gut, which is not thinking but is feeling and is just absolutely yes and absolutely no. And then the space of reconciliation, where we bring that all together, is the heart. And there are so many steps that I take in this life and ways that I have been guided to move by my own heart that perhaps didn't seem to make much sense in the moment, but brought me to incredible places. And the more we deepen our relationship with our heart and our inner gnosis and our inner guidance, coupled with our relationship to our self-appointed value system, our self-appointed direction that we walk in, because a value is not a goalpost. You don't reach or attain and check off and complete a value. A goalpost would be something like, I want to lose this many pounds. And so you start exercising and eating healthy and you reach that goalpost. A value is something like, I want to live a vibrantly abundant, healthy lifestyle that nourishes me in a way that I am overflowing with energy and possibility and capability for being of service to the world. And so that is a value. It's something we walk in the direction of in our lives. And so when you take the intelligence of the mind and the intelligence of the gut and bring them together in this beautiful space of reconciliation, the wisdom of the heart, and you follow that and you hone your skill, cultivation of walking in the direction of your values, then you are well on your way in the journey of listening with the ear of your heart and operating from that space, that sacred space within. I find this to be such an interesting mystical path and so challenging to describe in so many ways, but to follow the heart is deeply, deeply courageous. A very, very personal inward journey of mysticism, much of which cannot be named. And there's a couple quotes by Ram Dass. There's one, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. And another, when your center is firm, when your faith is strong and unwavering, then it will not matter what company you keep. Just remembering that the more we step into sovereignty in this life and recognize our sovereignty and responsibility in the choices that we make and the steps that we take in this life, the less prone we become to blaming others for the conditions we find ourselves in and the outcomes of the choices that we've made. And the more self-responsible and self-trusting, self-reliant we become, the more we can interweave with others in a beautiful, co-creative way and stand alongside each other as full and whole and complete individuals with lots to offer and share from our overflowing cups. And so coming to that quiet space in the heart, this is a space where we come in contact with that which we have given many names to, but the soul, the the greater self, which is a space within ourselves that does not shout, that is truly equanimous and does not seek to change us, but does offer us wisdom and a path of liberation from suffering whenever we are ready and desiring to receive that wisdom. It's a voice that sort of whispers. It's a gentle and quiet voice. It's a wise voice, and it's always present. And oftentimes today in society, we find that people are too busy meeting expectations and performing to hear and receive the wisdom of this voice. Too afraid to trust this inner gnosis and trained to instead look in other directions to find if others are doing it and if it's okay to step there, if we'll be safe if we dive into the abyss. And there was lots of quotes coming through today, but there's a quote by Terence McKenna, something like, "The universe favors the bold. Um, just go ahead and dive into the abyss, and when you land, you'll find that it's a featherbed." And that's been my experience. And so, cultivation of stillness and quiet, trust in ourselves and the unfolding of life, acceptance of challenges or fear of rejection are all things that must be met on this journey. And thinking about that lovely, well-known quote by Robert Frost, um, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The less traveled road, being the road of trusting your own inner compass instead of any map that's been handed to you, and allowing in all the feelings that come with that journey, and finding safety in the refuge of your own heart along that journey every step of the way, and really nurturing and cultivating that refuge, not only as an offering to yourself, but as an offering to everyone around you. When you become a refuge for yourself, you inevitably become refuge for others. When you really deeply love and care for yourself, it naturally unfolds from within you to deeply care and love for everyone that you interact with in this world, all the living beings, all the plants and animals as well, that nurturing and loving and listening to yourself is one of the greatest acts of service and is a step along the path that cannot be skipped. So we'll have a little space to drop into a meditation together. So find a comfortable seat or lie down and really dropping into your body. Again, coming back to the sensations the sensation of the air on your skin, your feet touching the earth. The sounds, feeling the air entering and leaving your body, that prana, life force energy, always exchanging, always in relationship, always dancing. Closing your eyes and taking a deep breath in, letting it out with a sigh. One more time, deep breath in. And sighing it out. And imagine for this moment that there is nowhere you need to be, nothing to do, nothing to fix, no goalposts to be met, no one to impress. And let your shoulders drop. Connecting to the truth that time spent in prayer, in reverence, in contemplation, in rest, and regeneration is not time wasted. It is time well spent. Picture your heart as a small room with a warm light inside. This room is for you. This is a room that only you can enter. And in this room, there are no expectations, no audiences, no performance, no hiding, no need to hide, unconditional love and acceptance, grace. And inside this room, ask yourself, ask your heart, what do you need from me? And then just listen for the soft voice underneath, perhaps speaking in words or images or a feeling, and trust whatever arises. Now imagine all the people you've been trying to please standing outside this room. Your family, your society, past versions of yourself. And with love and reverence, respect for the necessity of every step that you've taken on your path and everyone that's been on that path who's been a helper and a teacher in one way or another. We gently close this door. in devotion to your own path. Remembering that it is a high path of service to walk with humility and reverence upon this earth, to follow the guidance of the heart, to let our lives be an offering, knowing that what you bless blesses you back. Sometimes 100-fold. Taking 3 slow, deep breaths here. And when you're ready, beginning to gently move, open and close the fists. Maybe turn the head side to side. Softly fluttering open the eyes. And returning to this space. And I have some journal prompts that we'll roll into at this point, and I'll drop them in the chat. The prompts are: where in my life am I making choices primarily to avoid disappointing others? If I removed the need for approval, what decision would I make differently right now? What would the road less traveled look like for me in this season of life? If my soul could leave a note on my pillow tonight, what would it say? So I'll drop these in the chat here, and I'll put on a little music and give y'all a little space to sit with those. gonna wrap up this journaling part for a bit, but you're welcome to return after the call. And just wanted to offer some practical integration tips. And something, simple is just starting with small acts of honesty in our day to day life. Maybe take an opportunity to set one small boundary. And s- these boundaries can be set with love. There's a Buddhist principle, right speech, which is just cultivating a sort of awareness with how we speak and the words that we choose, and really taking our time to find the right way to communicate with love, but with truth as well. And so maybe setting one small boundary and making contact with one truly authentic no and one truly authentic yes. Listening to the heart will begin with small, truthful actions and does not require burning your life down. So, in closing, we've been taught to believe that wisdom lives outside of us, but it is my belief that we are rapidly evolving, and just when we think we've pinned it down, it turns a corner and shows us a new truth. And the path of following the heart asks of us only to be trusting and be flexible. Your life is a conversation between you and your soul. No one else can hear it. No one else can translate it. No one else can walk it. So, my prayer is that you have the courage to walk your own road and let that be thy medicine for yourself and for this world. And so, we can just take a couple more breaths together, letting the eyes fall closed and taking 4 count breath in, holding briefly at the top, and then a 6 count breath out, finding the stillness in that prolonged exhale. And a couple more like that. Thank you so much.